Greetings, namaste, assalamu alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we remember our issue at the border and our collective prayers that the better sense will prevail. Armed nation over smaller nation will never be right in any language. So hopefully the government will reach out much more to the opposition. Right now, with all due respect, the leader of the opposition gave unconditional support. But what is the result today since that support? Very little opposition involvement. Hope the government leaders are remembering they need the opposition support and they have to treat them with more respect. I have seen so many advertisements for meetings, little or no opposition involvement. Hopefully that will change. The war in the Holy Land is continuing. I have back channel with Palestine, with Israel, with Qatar, with Egypt, and I know a lot more than most persons are know because they are in my WhatsApp back channel group. We visited the Holy Land, myself and wife, in Easter 2017. This is a picture of me standing on one of the stations of our Lord. So we know it very well. Palestine has been in existence since 1927. That's a coin. What is the status today of Palestine? The green areas are Palestine, and you can see the reduction that has occurred. Bottom line is we have lost friends in Israel and also in Palestine, but there is, and the United States, what is not known as part of the fight, and I know because I visited there and I have back channels, there is 453 billion oil and gas, repeat, 453 billion oil and gas. So common sense, nobody has to tell anybody anything. If you visit, any one of my dear listeners, visit, you will realize the potential. And not only that, we know about the Panama Canal. Yes, we know there's another canal coming somewhere in Latin America. I wouldn't want to call name, but you do the research, you will see. We know about the famous Suez Canal. But have you ever heard about a Gaza Canal? See? Easy lesson, good for the dunce. There are many geopolitical fights involved. With respect, the government of President Bibi Netanyahu missed the bus because of his fights with the legal changes and non-support. He did not support his defense people, the IDF, and so they all slept on the wheel. That is a fact. And so they were not prepared. The famous Mossad and the IDF, a little ragtag band, that's why I call them. Hamas is a ragtag band, took advantage. Israel lost high contact. What is not generally told in the Western media, and I recommend you listen to Al Jazeera, China TV, Deutsche Welle TV, and those are the three my news 24/7. My screens do not turn off. They go on 24/7. So I can flip and listen and occasionally to CNN. So I also get brief, not only back channel, I see what is available in the media with unbiased, no spin doctors. In American media these days with the Gaza, we have a lot of spin doctors on one side of the story. Hamas started as a sports club to help its people who are suffering with medical care, with dental care, with food, with clothing. That is how Hamas started, as a sports club, boys and girls club. Then Israel funded Hamas because Hamas didn't want the Palestine to get a two-state. So Hamas was the checks and balance with Western and Israel influence. That is the history of Hamas, what we don't hear in the Western media. And Hamas has got linkages to Iran, North Stream, and Hamas looked out to get support, and they got support from Iran. For whatever reason, in the Arab world, there's a Sunni Shia divide. The six rich GCC countries are all Shia: Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Oman. It Iran, on the other, is Shiite, and there's a conflict of religion, whether Prophet Muhammad is support or the Iranians, the Shia, promote the Prophet's son-in-law, Ali. So that's a whole little stuff. In one of my articles in Village Voice, I've really explained that. So that is the background of it. Today, the fourth release is happening. Bibi Netanyahu, the president, is determined to wipe Hamas off. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who follow history, a movement do not die. The leaders will die, but the movement stay on. This is a fact. So whatever the president has in mind is part of his PR campaign. Hamas, they kill all the leaders. New ones will born. New ones will come over. That has happened to all wicked organizations. And they're wicked. They said they're fighting for their freedom. I have met them. They tell me they're fighting for their freedom. They told me when Israel was fighting for their independence, their leaders were named terrorists too. So when you fight for your own, you're terrorists, but the Western media tend to call you different names. Qatar is friends of everybody, enemies of none. They are doing their best to hold the scales evenly. Next week, there's a meeting. They now have, after they had trouble with the release, they have a representative in Israel. Very unusual. The first time Qataris were in Israel to help the release through. They've got 2 days release, and that's with the help of Qatar, with Egypt, and also the Hamas group, and also the Israeli group. So they're talking together. Right now, they're trying to extend that ceasefire. It all depends now on President Biden, whether what he requests will be granted. So far, Israel is not honoring the requests of the President of the United States, and the President is on sticky wicket. He's losing millions of votes. People who promise with his action in the Gaza, they will not vote at the next election. So President Biden himself is at a crossroad, but he already gave up all the goodies to the president of Israel. And now, right now, in my opinion, the president of Israel has the ball where he wants it, and he will go for his plan for his survival. He's on sticky wicket with his nation. I do believe, and my back channels tell me, if election is called today in Israel, President Bibi Netanyahu will lose. If a president election is called in America tomorrow for President Biden will lose. Those are all the tricky times ahead today. Ladies and gentlemen, your continuing prayers, best wishes to you that our leaders in Guyana will be more balanced, more equitable, and treat the opposition with a lot more respect. The opposition gave full support, and they're not getting the kind of respect that deserve. When His Excellency Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham wanted Dr. Cheddi Jagan's support for the backside, those who know. Dr. Cheddi demanded, not insisted, 3 items for the government of LFSB to give the support to Gao recognition at Booker's Estates. Number 2, he wanted to ensure the treason charge for the name of the person. Everybody know the treason charge. Last name starts with an R. And number 3, he wanted Dr. Jagan jobs for his PPP members. And Dr. Cheddi received all 3 of his demands, and he gave his support for Denver. OLO MP Norton was asked for his support. He gave his support without any hesitation. Some will beat him up for it. Others will say he did a gentleman's thing. Time will tell whether he's being run over. That's the words come to my mind. Whether the OLO is being run over by the PPP with his carte blanche support of border, and he didn't demand any more respect. But the time is not late. Tomorrow, the opposition leader, or tonight, can make a difference. Best wishes and good night to all.